Briese Lawyers, and here with me on the couch today is Tracey Roberts from The Last Leaf. Hi Tracey.
Hi Kim. Hi everybody.
Now Tracey is an end-of-life doula.
Yes.
Which is really interesting, and not a lot of people have heard about it. And I thought she was the perfect person to interview today because tomorrow is Dying to Know Day. Or at least this is kind of Dying to Know Week, I think. They try and make it a bit of a national week. And it's all about just trying to make conversations about death and dying and end-of-life wishes part of easy conversation so that it's no longer taboo and that people get more comfortable with it. So I thought Tracey was the perfect person to come along and have a bit of a chat with on the couch today about the really serious part of end of life and the wonderful work that she does in supporting people through those final stages of their life. So over to you, Tracey. Do you want to share a bit about what an end of life doula does and just how you can help support individuals and families?
I started my role as an end-of-life doula this time last year. I met Kim and Margaret at the Dying to Know Day. We did a presentation there and I just started The Last Leaf. And I started The Last Leaf to support people in their last stages of life with companionship, information, support, just listening, providing information, because a lot of the time people aren't aware what services are available for them. So I have been doing that for the last year and really enjoying being able to help people with their choices and wishes at their end of life, and also to provide information to people that don't have a life-limiting diagnosis, just people that just want to be more prepared.
Excellent. Yep. Very good.
Yeah.
And that's, I guess, what this week is all about, is trying to get more information out to people, because like I say, a lot of people don't know what they don't know. They don't know what services are available. And I think what you do is extremely specialised. So obviously, you know, when I met you last year, I was very keen to interview you then when it was all very new, because I hadn't heard about an end-of-life doula and a service that you can provide. So really keen to hear more about, I guess, some of the common questions. What is it that people most want to know that you get to help them with?
I think the most questions I get asked is for people that are have been given a life-limiting diagnosis. They want to know what choices they have at the end of their life. I have a background in palliative nursing as well. I've been a nurse for over 40 years now, with palliative my specialty. And I think the most I get asked is how long I've got and what is it going to be like at the end. Am I going to be in pain? Am I going to be out of breath? All these things that people are unaware of what's going to happen to them. And it's frightening.
It is. I always say that, you know, fear of the unknown, I think, is one of the worst things. So I think it's easier to face anything, even if it's not pleasant, if at least you have some understanding about what to expect. But that said, I imagine, given that you're a doula, and I've always sort of doulas in terms of childbirth, in the same way that everyone's birthing experience is quite different, I take it that end of life is also quite different.
Very different. And I can't answer the questions specifically to those people, but I can give scenarios and say what I've observed with other deaths. And I had a lady recently that I had been working with for over 12 months, nearly 12 months, and she had gone to the hospice for her last days, and she had asked if I would sit with her. She didn't want her family there. One son was overseas and one was in New South Wales, and I asked her, I said, do you think that's selfish? And she said, it's my choice, which made me then think, yes, it is your choice. And I sat with her and her best friend for the last 10 hours. I walked in on the last day and I had said to her, oh, today's the day. I sort of knew, you could just tell, and she said yes. And we sat together, the three of us, for those 10 hours. And when I left there at 7 o'clock at night, I had learnt something over that last 10 hours, that everybody is different. You can't predict what's going to happen, but you can just go with it and make sure there's comfort and you're doing the best you can for that person around their wishes. And we had discussed that over the time that I had worked with her. So I knew that she didn't want her children there. And I think I realised then why she didn't, because she was protecting them. She didn't want them to see her dying. It was beautiful. It was lovely.
And you know, people, I guess if they have the time to really think about it and to choose, that there are different options. And you know, some people do want family. Obviously this lady didn't. Some will want, you know, whether it's a minister of religion or spiritual support. Others just want emotional support. I guess others just want to know that physically they're going to have the support to manage their pain and maintain their dignity. But there really are a lot of choices, aren't there?
There are a lot of choices. And when I first started this, I was having a conversation with somebody and she wasn't aware that you were able to die at home. Something that I take for granted, that people know those things. It's just something simple like that. Even when I was sitting with that lady at the hospice, her best friend was there and she said to me, Tracey, her breathing's not as fast as mine. And I looked at her and I said, she's dying, so her breathing's not going to be the same. But they're things that I know and think other people do know, but they don't, because they're not around people. So that's what I like to share with other people. I can share those things.
And I guess for a lot of us, we're fortunate that we can say that we haven't had to experience being with a loved one, or anybody for that matter, when they take their final breath. And I think it takes a really special person, which you obviously are, to do that.
I don't see myself as a special person. I don't see that. I just see that it's something that I'm passionate about and I'm committed to, and I just want to empower those people so they do get the right death that they do want to, you know, with their choices. And I've talked about this with another lady that I'm working with, and I've only visited her twice, and she's not sure how long she has got, but in that time that I've visited her, she has done a prepaid funeral. She's written up all her death plan, which is like a birth plan but a death plan. And her friend has organised an urn from South Australia that can be made with her ashes. And they're all things that we've worked with, and she's been able to help organise that. She's been able to say that she doesn't want a funeral, she doesn't want to have a wake, but she might have a living get together, having a barbecue before she dies with her friends. So it's having the conversations with people, saying, what do you want? You know, who do you want in the room with you when you're dying? Do you want your neighbour to pop in to say hello? Or do you want those lavender smelling oils burning, or the TV? All those little things that we don't think of at that last moment.
But I think there's a lot of people, Tracey, that don't want to have the conversation.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of us don't want to think of that. But, you know, well, as they say, the only two things that are certainties in life are death and taxes.
Yes.
So
10 out of 10 people die.
Exactly.
That's
exactly. Which is what I say about why I do estate planning, because everyone needs an estate planning lawyer, because at some stage it's going to be it. So, you know, I just think, I love what you do, and I love the fact that, you know, we do have Dying to Know Week. We are starting to open up those conversations, because I think it is helpful in the whole, both empowering the person who is passing, but
Yes.
also the grieving process
Yes.
for those that are left behind.
Yes, yes.
When's the perfect time to do it though? Because none of us know, like obviously there are some people that do get obviously a terminal diagnosis or prognosis, and albeit that, you know, the medical team never really know whether they've got
No.
2 days, 2 weeks,
Yes.
2 months or 2 years.
Yes.
When's the perfect time to have a conversation?
I think the perfect time to have a conversation is now for anybody that's watching, whether you have an illness or you just want to be prepared. But for the people that do face death sooner than because they've been given a diagnosis, I think to get prepared earlier on in the beginning, because I've seen people try and do their enduring power of attorneys and their other advanced health directives, you know, a couple of days from death, and it's just so confronting. They cannot do it.
Yep.
They just cannot do it. So if you're thinking about it, I think that's a good time to do it.
And you don't have to be old. You don't have to be sick. You
over
need to,
18.
Exactly right.
Over
exactly
18.
Right. So get your will done, get your power of attorney done, consider advanced care plans or advanced health directives,
Yes.
and just get your letter of wishes done. So if you saw my recent video, we've put together some templates for our clients to help you think about the sorts of things that you might want. So prompts for, you know, whether it's your funeral, your end of life care for your children, so for the younger people that have kids under 18, what your guardianship wishes are. And importantly, for many, many people these days, pet guardianship wishes.
Definitely.
You know,
Yes.
people almost seem embarrassed if they're the ones that ask the question about, can I put something in my will about my pet? And I'm absolutely encouraging that, and we've included that in our templates.
And
so
that's
whether
great,
you want your
yes.
pets with you at the end,
Yes.
or rehomed, or for some people they don't think that their pet will cope without them, and so they actually want, when they pass or have to go to palliative care or somewhere where they can't have their pet, that their pet also gets euthanized,
too,
perhaps cremated, popped with them. And you know, they're tough conversations, but a bit like you, I suppose, I see the empowerment for the individual and the relief that comes and the peace of mind of knowing that those things are in place and that you've had a say, and those people that are left behind know what you wanted.
No. And I think there's a lot of other things that they have to concentrate on when death is closer. You know, it's very emotional. They're very, very vulnerable. And I don't think that they can be thinking about the paperwork side, the wishes and that, then with a level head, because it's too confronting for them. Yeah.
So start early and get a support person are the two big takeaways. And look, guys, obviously Tracey's very knowledgeable and very approachable. So if you've got any questions about death and dying, or on my side of things, the estate planning aspect of it, please get in touch with us. We're going to put both our contact details together as a link with this video. So yeah, we just encourage you to make contact if there's anything that you want to know about death and dying.
Thank you, Kim.
Thank you so much for coming along again, Tracey.
Yeah,
Always
it's great.
a pleasure.
It is a pleasure.
All right.
Thank you.
See you later, everyone.